High vibes, high vibes, high vibes. I just wanted to get on here and make a quick video today about, staying on your spiritual path and like what it means to actually be on your spiritual path and, different observations that you make as you go along. So, well, let's just go ahead and get started. But, the basics like what is being on your spiritual path? Like getting closer to yourself and learning more about yourself, as within, so without learning from firsthand experience, you have to go within yourself to learn about different aspects of this reality and yourself, because without learning about yourself, you really won't even get a grasp of what's going on around you, because all the answers, all the things that you do your research on, a lot of them can come from within yourself just by making simple observations and going within and really and truly, listening to yourself. And that's that's part of being on your spiritual path, is making sure that you're doing those practices that you once you start going within and seeing what you need to be doing and what you should be doing, though that is the main aspect of going on your spiritual path, at least in my opinion and in my experience. It might not be what your truth or your perspective at this current point in time, but as far as what I've experienced, it's going within and seeing the power that you have within you, which is power that's without of you as well, and actually observing that. So staying on your spiritual path, that's another thing that's like really important, because as you go along this path, there's going to be obstacles. There's always obstacles in your way and challenges that you go through, and you just have to keep going and pushing forward. Always turning up. You know what I mean? Tapping in and making sure that and understand and overstand the different aspects of yourself. Because again, this all comes back to looking within. If you can't look within, then you know a lot of this stuff you will be blinded to. A lot of people say, people are asleep. It's not necessarily saying that they're asleep. It's that saying that their eyes aren't open. What happens when you go to sleep? Your eyes are closed. You go into that state where you're not too aware, unless you have been putting in that work and you do have more awareness when you are asleep. But as far as the general public and what everybody thinks about saying, oh, people out here sleeping, it's a common phrase that I've heard. People like, oh man, they're sleeping on that. It's because they're not really actively thinking about it and keeping that awareness up to a certain level to where they'll actually learn and grow from it. And that's a big part of your path, is you got to be able to observe what's going on, observe the changes that are happening as you start turning up, or even if you start falling off your path. When both, it goes for both sides. The duality of everything, as I've explained in a previous video, is when you go start looking at both sides of it. When you are turning up, you see all the results that you get as you go along. But there might become a point in time where your ego tries to distract you, and you start getting off of your path, and you got to really go through and make that transformation, make that transmutation of what you're actually learning and what you're going through, because without making that key observation, you won't be able to keep going along your path. As we go along this path, there's going to be times when we have dips, ups and downs, and it's all about being able to observe it and learning from it. The spiritual path, the spiritual journey, that's your journey. That's all of our journey. It's each individual journey and a collective journey, as within, so without. It's not all about the me, it's about the we. And once you get closer to learning yourself, you will see that you should be connecting more with other people. The we, and that will bring you to another stage of your path. So you just have to keep going within in order to see what's going on around you. Like truly see what's going on within and without. A lot of people, they think, oh, spirituality is just about meditation and stuff. But there's a lot more into it than that, because there's a lot of different aspects to this reality that people haven't really explored. A lot of people are like, oh, I am my mind. You stay within your mind, but we are not our mind. You know, and once you start, going further into that, you'll see what I'm talking about. And that's just another step on your path that you have to take as you go along. We all have times where we start thinking, oh man, maybe I'm not getting the results. But you have to really think: is that really coming from you, your mind, your ego? Is coming from an outside source, or is it coming from within you? You really have to be able to open up that ear and listen. What I'm saying? And really, plug in and see what's going on around you, because there's a lot of things that are going on around you and within you that you might not be aware of. And the more that you become aware of within yourself, the more that you'll become aware of without yourself and outside of yourself. Like the people trying to come and attack you, or even people coming to help you along your path. Because a lot of people talk about all the good side and the bad side. We got to stop thinking of it just good or bad. We have to look at the whole, because the spiritual journey, your spiritual path, is not just about one side of it. It's not just about overcoming the obstacles. It's about going through those obstacles, embracing those obstacles, transmuting and transforming. Saying your knowledge and your understanding of what is actually going on around you and within you, because without these different obstacles you wouldn't be where you are today. You wouldn't know what you know today. You wouldn't even think what you think today. So when you go through these different obstacles, it's not just about overcoming them. Learn from them, embrace them. All these things, all these negative thoughts that you might have, the positive thoughts that you might have, incorporate them all within yourself. This is a big part of your spiritual journey, is actually being able to incorporate all the different aspects. Because as we go along and we start maintaining that certain type of awareness, even if you start falling off or if you're turning up, you'll be able to observe the different reactions and actually see what is going on within and without of yourself. The other day I was sitting outside and I was looking at the rain, and nature teaches us all kinds of things. I believe Astro posted a video the other day on learning from nature and weather, and how the weather can teach you. So you can go check that out. Check out Astro Solson and Reprogram the Matrix YouTube channels, as well as our private community, reprogramthematrix.com, if you want to get some more information on that. But I'm as far as this video, I'm just talking about of going along your spiritual path. So as we go along this path, we have to stay observant. The path can be different for everybody, but it's really the same. So once you really start delving within yourself, you'll see there are different there might be different physical and mental aspects of it, but when it comes down to that spirit, it's all the same. And once you start flowing with spirit, you'll start getting that information and that higher information, and you'll be able to incorporate that within yourself, maintain that awareness, and keep turning up. It's all the way up. We got to keep turning up all the time, regardless of what's going on. There might be times where you feel frustrated, you get angry, you get mad. Know that that is a part of yourself. You have to accept that. You can't just be trying to fight it. Always fighting against it. No, I'll take this back to the water, because I know I've made a lot of observations about the water and how we can learn from the water. Say you're on a boat, and everybody's like, oh, when you're going out there, it's easier to follow the waves and have the waves ride with you. Saying it's hard to go against the waves. So when all these things are happening and you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting, saying it makes it harder on yourself. Say harder and harder. But if you just go with that flow and actually learn to embrace it, and you'll find the beauty and the calmness of actually riding that wave and flowing with spirit and learning from spirit and going through, because there's a lot of beauty. Yes, there's a lot of ugliness out here too, but do know that beauty and ugliness is all there for a reason. If we don't have that reason, then if there wasn't both of those sides, then you really wouldn't learn that much. But that's for you to go further into. The other aspect of the spiritual path, and these are all things that you can go within yourself and do your inner search on. And I also recommend doing outer search, um, to find out different information that might lead you to another deeper understanding of something. All these things, everything you do is a part of your spiritual path. Not just your spiritual practices that you're doing, meditating, sending out your high vibrations and observing, and and collecting that chi in order to get those keys to go through the different realities, and and go within yourself and see those different portals that are within yourself. But you have to be able to make these observations and incorporate them. I'm going to keep saying this because, your spiritual path, what it really comes down to is being able to observe all these things and incorporate them, because it's hard sometimes to actually incorporate this knowledge and learn from it because there's all kinds of distractions that might be out there. There's people wanting to stop you. There's some people that are trying to help you, but they might be misguided as well. Their understanding, their understanding might not be your understanding or understanding. Everybody's at different levels. Some people might be on the same level, but at the same time, you all still have your own subjective experience. You know, it's not like we're all experiencing a collective experience. At least not, in this reality. So as you go along, just keep making these observations and looking within. That's the biggest thing about your spiritual journey is make sure that you're looking within. If you can't look within, how are you going to be able to see what's going on around you? First, first be the change to make the change. You can't try to help somebody else if you can't help yourself. It's a big thing everybody talks about. And people like to say, "Oh, how can America go over here to these other countries and try to help them? We got problems here at home." You know, Same thing with yourself. That's just going to another scale of it. Saying same thing with yourself. How are you supposed to go out there and show the changes and get different things to happen if you can't even make the changes within yourself? Stay true to spirit, and everything will come to you. High vibes, full love, family, and keep turning up. My full love and gratitude.